Hey, welcome. So today we're going to dive into something pretty huge, the digital transformation of, well, government, one of the oldest institutions on the planet. And it's a revolution, really, that promises to put the power of the entire state right in the palm of your hand.
I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? That feeling, you know the one, where your day just slowly slips away inside some bureaucratic maze. You're clutching that little paper ticket, just waiting for your number to be called. It's a universal frustration for sure. But what if? What if there was a better way? And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? The big shift. We're moving from a world of physical lines, mountains of paperwork, all stuck within those 9 to 5 business hours, to a whole new reality. We're talking a few clicks, digital documents, and services that are just always on, 24/7 access.
And look, this is so much more than just sticking some old forms on a new website. Nope, it's a complete, fundamental rethinking of the entire relationship between us, the citizens, and the state. And it has a name. It's a whole philosophy called e-government.
Okay, so what is e-government really, at its core? Well, it's about using technology not just to deliver services, but to make them better, way more efficient, and to open up brand new channels for you, for me, to actually participate in the democratic process. It's basically governance built for the digital age.
And the goals here, they're pretty ambitious, totally transformative. For the state, it's all about cutting costs and just running more efficiently. But for us, the citizens, it means better, faster services that are available anytime, anywhere. And, maybe most importantly, it promises to make government a lot more transparent and actually give us a bigger voice in things.
But, and there's always a but, right? This is where things start to get a little complicated. The big promise is this perfectly level playing field for everyone. The reality? Yeah, that's a different story.
Now, in theory, the idea is pretty powerful. It's this. If you replace a human gatekeeper with a digital process, you get rid of human bias, right? The rules are just the rules, and they're applied the exact same way to every single person, every single time. On paper, it sounds like the ultimate fair system.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Does this digital utopia, does it actually work for everyone out there in the real world? Because in reality, there are some pretty big barriers. You've got the digital divide, which isn't just about not having internet access, it's also about not having the skills to even use it. Poverty, obviously, makes affording devices and data impossible for so many. And the research shows that ethnic minorities and foreign residents can face their own unique hurdles, everything from language barriers to some really deep-seated concerns about data privacy.
And let's put a number on that to really let it sink in. We're talking about 44% of the entire world's population living on less than $7 a day. So when you hear that, the idea that everyone has universal access to a smartphone and reliable internet, well, it's just not realistic, is it? This isn't some small little problem. It's a massive global challenge. Okay, so with all these challenges, how do we even track progress? I mean, how do we know which countries are getting it right and which ones are falling behind? Well, it turns out the United Nations has a model for exactly that.
So, the UN breaks it down into 5 pretty clear stages. It all starts with stage 1, just basic info online, like posting office hours. Then you get to stage 2, which is two-way communication. Think email. Stage 3 is the big one for most of us. That's transactions, like paying your taxes online. But the really advanced stages, 4 and 5, that's participation and integration. That's where citizens can actually start to influence policy and even co-create public services. Pretty cool. And here's the good news. There's been some incredible progress. A decade ago, only about 13% of countries were in that top tier for e-government. But today, that number has tripled to 39%. It's clear the world is digitizing its government services, and it's happening fast. So who's actually doing this stuff right? Well, if you're looking for a best-in-class example, a lot of people point to the United Kingdom. They were facing this massive challenge, and they came up with a solution that was, honestly, brilliantly simple.
Just try to imagine this for a second. Before 2012, if you needed literally any government service in the UK, you had to navigate this chaotic mess of 2,000 different government websites. 2,000! It was an absolute digital nightmare.
So what was their solution? They took all 2,000 of those sites and merged them into one single user-focused portal, gov.uk. And this one-stop shop idea, it didn't just make life easier for everybody, it slashed costs, got rid of all the duplication, and even won awards for its design. It basically set a whole new global standard. But hey, not every journey is that smooth and simple. To really understand the kind of obstacles you can run into in the real world, let's take a look at a much more complex case, the story of e-government in Northern Cyprus. Northern Cyprus was actually an early adopter here. They launched their portal way back in 2008, even ahead of Turkey. But then, for more than a decade, nothing. Progress just stalled. The source material points to things like political instability and just a lack of consistent vision as huge roadblocks. Now, there's a new effort underway, but it really goes to show you how non-technical issues can totally derail a digital transformation.
Now, what's really fascinating about this case is an unexpected finding from the research. It turns out that the local governments, the municipalities, are often way more digitally advanced than the big central government ministries. And you have to ask, why? Well, it's because they're closer to the people. They're dealing with the day-to-day needs, which makes the push for digital services feel a lot more urgent and direct.
So, all of this brings us to the future. Because e-government isn't a destination, it's a constantly evolving journey. And the technology that's going to shape its next big phase, it's already here.
We're talking about things like artificial intelligence that could process your loan application instantly, big data that could personalize public health alerts just for you, the Internet of Things managing traffic in our smart cities, and even blockchain technology that could create a totally secure digital ID. I mean, these technologies are ready to completely redefine what a government can even do.
And that brings us to the final, really critical question that all of us are going to have to answer. As our governments use these incredibly powerful tools to get more efficient, they're also going to be collecting a lot more of our data. So where do we draw the line? The line between a state that protects us and a state that watches us. That, right there, is a defining challenge for the entire next generation of digital government.